To kick things off, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, so my name is Roseline Eyenike. I'm Nigerian and I'm a yoga teacher, a strong nation instructor, and I also manage a fitness organization here in Nigeria called Tropper. More about me, my interest. I love to run. I love distance run. I play other sports that I play American football, which we call flag football here. I love to travel and I love to be adventurous with food. So you can catch me eating weird things at specific times, but all the same, I'm just a woman. I'm just who I am, the simple Rose that you get. So you call me Rose. Some people call me Refit, but whichever one you call me, I'll take it. But my name is Rose. Once again.
Thank you, Rose. And I remember, it wasn't this year, it was last year. You were in South
Yeah.
Africa for the Two Oceans. How was the experience?
Oh no, I didn't do the two oceans. I couldn't make it for two oceans, but I came for Salam Marathon. That was in September.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. In my head, I'm thinking you were here for the Two Oceans. How was the Sanlam Marathon?
No. It was fantastic, even if it was sort of tedious. And I had my bad day because I was going for a sub 4, but I couldn't make it. But in all, the experience was wonderful from the chairs on the road to, supporters. Everything was just splendid enough for you to come out and just have fun, knowing that you're there with thousands of runners. So South Africa was
Mm,
pretty cool for me. It was pretty cool. I loved every aspect of the race in Cape Town.
I did, I did the Cape Town Marathon in 2017, and I remember running the marathon and thinking, the kilometers in Cape Town are longer. Did you feel the same way?
Well, possibly because it was my first time, so I couldn't, gauge it. But in as much as I knew I was coming in for 2.195 kilometer, which is also 26.2 miles, I just knew that's what
Mhm.
I had to do. I had seen the terrain; it was going to be hilly, especially, getting to the finish line was like, why on earth would you make it hilly? Why? And I'm like, no! But I had an angel who just held my hands right from the 35th kilometer because I was about giving up because my legs were swollen, which was pretty unusual. But,
Mhm.
like I'll always say, every race is different, but that was not just my race. But at the end of the day, I just had someone who held me hands. We just had hands together and we walked all through running, walking, running. So we just brought in the fat leg and we got to the finish line and I was proud enough to like say, yes, I got my medal. Yes, okay. So my medals are just behind me. So I can always hold on to one and like, yes, this is my medal.
And you have quite a lot of medals behind you. Apart from South
hmm
Africa, have you done any other races internationally?
Okay, so I've done some races in Ghana. I've done one in Cote d'Ivoire, and that's about it. And others are just here in Nigeria, different states in Nigeria.
I know there's a big race in Nigeria which has, I think, around 150,000 participants. I think it happens in Lagos. Have you done that one?
Yes, it's in Lagos, the Lagos Marathon. Right from inception when they started in 2016, I've had to run it year in, year out. So I've done that 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 5 years. So I've done that.
And
Then
it
I've done
also
the
can.
Ile-Ife Marathon. The
Mhm.
Ile-Ife Marathon. I've done a marathon in Ibadan. So I've had a fair share of different terrains, which is pretty fun.
And like you've run in different countries, what has been your best experience so far? Which country delivered that?
Oh, best experience so far in terms of countries, I'll say South Africa. And that's why I was looking forward to doing the Comrades. I was meant to be called a comrade, but well, not to worry, COVID. Thank you so much.
You will become a comrade in 2021, which is not far if you think about it.
Yes,
Within a couple of
yeah, it's
months.
not. But you know how things happen. You never can
Yeah.
tell, but my fingers are pretty crossed. My fingers are pretty crossed. I hope I do not have a project that I have to do during that
Mm,
time. And there are times when economic of scale, you have to go with that which is more priority. So I
yeah.
just hope and pray I'm not so busy that I'm able to run the Comrades, because this is something I've always longed for right from 2018, and I got in with no stress for the 2020
Mm.
Comrades, and COVID said, hell no, you're not doing this.
COVID destroyed our lives, but you know what? Out of COVID came things like this because now we are communicating and interacting digitally.
Hmm.
You mentioned food. Did you try any South African food that you really enjoyed?
South African food. Well, I didn't have the opportunity to get into the nooks and crannies to get food, so it was still just the regulars that I am used to. So there was really nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, there was really nothing. I know they said eggs, and yes, I had eggs, but I'd already had eggs before in Ghana, so it wasn't anything different. Yeah,
It wasn't anything different.
yes, totally.
So yeah, we've mentioned your marathon. I know you want to do the Comrades marathon, but where did your fitness journey begin?
Okay, so I would say I would literally say that I've been an active kid. I've always been an active kid right from when I was young. But my fitness journey in terms of road running started in 2014. And then, Tropper came on board and they brought in about fun fitness activities, and I joined.
Mhm.
So it was from the couch to a 5K. And at a point, I'm like, what is next? So I got to meet new set of individuals and we started to try different distances. So I started running in 2014, and as it's November 2014, I've done a half marathon. November
Mhm.
2015, I just kept doing more, races. And in 2016, I debuted my first marathon. And from then to now, I've done about 14 marathons, and I've done an ultra, a 50 kilometer, which I did last year in December. So basically, the journey has just been right from being an active kid. I got interested in running, and I don't know, I just fell in love with distance run, despite the fact that people say, oh, your knees and all. But one thing I've come to learn is that the
Mhm.
moment you understand the science of any sport, the better. The same way I do runs, the same way I got into flag football. Now, flag football is not a unilateral type of sport. It's a multi-dimensional, because you're going back, you're going forward, you're going in all directions. And as a runner coming to do that, you have to think about injuries. But I've thrived pretty well in that. I used to play volleyball before I stopped. So I would say
Mhm.
literally I've been really in and out, in and out. But in the last 6 years, I've been totally into fitness, and I started professionally doing administrative jobs. But right now, I decided to tilt the whole game,
Mhm.
making it a full career. So right now, it's a career.
Before we move on and I'll ask you more questions, I'd just like to read some comments that are coming through on the
Okay.
live because you can't see your phone. Um,
Yes, because I have
but
to keep tilting my head.
I'll read them out for you. Um, Tato says she loves your arms. Um,
Thank you.
and Palisa says she can relate to your story. So your arms, how did you get them
Yeah.
gains?
Mm. Well, okay, so beyond that's why I said for me, I'm into various things. So I don't just run, I also strength train, because the power of any runner is also in strength training, the ability to cross train. So I cross train a
Mm,
lot. So, and I said that's why I'm a strong instructor. I do my strength training. So for this, I've had to work for it. So I'm constantly trying to push my body weight, because I've literally gotten this from my body weight, pushing my body weight to the next level. So getting my arms, I'll say it's just work. Just train for it, because it said, if you want the body, you have to train for the body. So I've trained for this body. There was a point when I was frail, skinny. I had the lean like runner look. But now in the
mm,
last 6 months, I've had to change the dynamics and trying to get some still lean, but at the same time, just getting some curves in specific places.
And I resonate with Tato's comment, because when you started the live, I was like, your arms. And I compare it to the picture that I posted on my story. I can see the difference. I can see the work that has been put in.
Yeah.
So you strength train, you run, you play football. I want to ask about yoga. How did that journey begin?
Okay, so yoga, I've always, I mean, I'll still bring it back because I can remember I've always liked to like push my body into different positions, and I didn't even know it was called yoga then. So I can remember when I traveled to
Oh,
Dubai in 2015, and I did the lot of the dancers pose because that was like my signature pose. If you had to catch me doing anything out of the ordinary, I had to do the lot of the dancers. But I didn't know it was even a yoga pose. All I just knew was I had the ability to flip my legs and take it all the way back and have my hands in front of me, and just this regal look that you get from the lot of the dancers. But
mm,
in 2017, Gina came to Nigeria and brought about the yoga teachers training. I'm like, okay, let's see what it entails. And I went for the 200 hours um, class training, and that's how I got certified as a yoga teacher. So that's where the journey started. So from 2017 to date, I've been a yoga teacher.
and what type of yoga do you teach? Because I know there's different kinds of yoga.
Okay, so it's I learned the Baptist methodology, which is vinyasa, but I still use vinyasa, but I've just, one thing about yoga is you bring your own style to it, regardless of
Right.
what you learn. So I do vinyasa, but at the same time, I've brought in my own style. So I do more, I would say, yoga fitness and
Mm,
relaxation. So you find me doing the main process, getting into asanas. Then when relaxation, the ability to just get you to be, restorative yoga, when you get to that point where you can just restore every part of you, cooling down, calming your nerves,
mm.
and just be into yourself, getting to know that your being is you. And in expressing who you are, your breath gives you power. So,
And that type of yoga you need, because you put your body through so much, through all the running and all the different activities that you do. So that one
mm-hmm,
practice of having a restorative yoga session is actually so powerful, especially on
mm-hmm.
Sundays, because on Mondays the madness begins
But
again.
Sundays are for long runs.
Sunday afternoon is for the restorative yoga session.
Sundays are for long runs. But all the same, regardless of what day you want to get into your practice, get on your mat and just let go. Let your body thrive through on the mat and just feel relaxed. But whatever works for you, if after a long run you can
Mm.
still put in a bit of yoga, please do that. And if it's on a Monday where you have to recover, do that. Yoga is for everyone and can be done at any time.
And that's the message I think I would like us to push, because I find that with people that I've interacted with, communicated with, there's a misconception that you have to look a certain way. You need to have a yoga body, and you need to have a yoga look. And I think for me, I want to break that down, because it's not, you don't have to be skinny and flexible to be able to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more thoughts on this?
Okay, so when it comes to yoga, like I said, yoga is for everyone because yoga, what is yoga basically? It's part of the four components of exercise. So since we have to bring it, let's go down to the epidemiology. So you're going down to the epidemiology, the origin and all. Yoga in
Mm,
itself is part of the four components of exercise, where we have the aerobics, you get your running, jogging, skipping, swimming. We come into the anaerobic where we have more of your strength training, resistance training. Then we come into balance and flexibility. Jensen. And when you talk about
mm,
balance and flexibility, this is where yoga offers you the ability to get balance, the ability to still your mind. Because
mm,
as a human being, our thoughts we're always having this ramble of thoughts. Now with yoga, it's about giving you that mind to body connection. And it's that's why I tell people it's a form of fitness. It's a form of fitness. You know,
Mm,
people, yes, the origin might be from India where you think it's Buddhism, but really you can bring your religion to yoga. And that's where I try to
mm,
break it down for people that it's not a religious um, form of fitness. It's just a form of fitness. Now, people bring in what they want into yoga. And the moment you understand that, the better. You bring in what you want into yoga. So if you're a Muslim,
mm.
bring in that into yoga. If you're a Christian, whatsoever you believe in, bring it into yoga. Because all you're just doing when you practice yoga is how do you use your breath to ease
Mhm.
that, I mean, what's the word? That tension, the tense muscles. So you're using your
Mm.
breath to guide your muscles to have a connection. So that's why it's a mind to body, breath to heart, breath to body connection. So just find a connection with yourself, and everything you have to do, just come on the mat. Because there you find that ease to just let go.
I can feel your passion through the screen. And to me right now, I can tell that you do this for a living. Um, so there's one yoga pose that I struggle with, even after so many months of practice, and this is Shavasana. So at the end, corpse pose. You
Oh,
also struggle with it.
okay. But Shavasana should be, well, for me, it was pretty difficult, but I wouldn't say Shavasana was the difficult one. It was meditation, sitting, getting into the easy pose and stilling your mind, stilling your thoughts, like trying to create that alignment and just still your thoughts, being present.
Mm,
It was pretty hard. It was pretty hard. I
it is.
struggled. I can remember during
It is.
yoga, I mean, yoga training, and like, oh, close your eyes, and you just see me do this. I'm rolling my eyes from left to right, and like, are they also doing it? Yeah, okay. Then I close my eyes again. So it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard. So even when I lead sessions and I find people do that, I can understand where they're coming from. And you can't force anyone to be there yet. You can only guide
Mm,
them to get there. And that's what I've learned. It's people would thought would always come across. Like they said, the human mind can churn out thousands of ideas in 1 minute. But then what is that one idea that you can stick onto and say, I want to work with this? And that's where the difference comes. And that's where yoga comes to place. Yes, you have thoughts around your head, but can you just be present? Can you come to this moment and just enjoy this moment? Because this is the only moment you have for yourself. And that's why for most times you just have to prescribe it as part of self-care. It's about you. It's not really about the thoughts anymore. It's about you. Get into yourself, feel yourself, guide yourself with your breath. And even if you want to have different thoughts, please come aligning just one thought at that time and
mm,
find a solution there and then. But when you have too many thoughts, it's just like multitasking. Most times when you try to multitask, you realize that you don't even get anything done. But when you pick up, I mean, task per task, you see that through the course of the day, you're able to like tick off a number of your list. So it's just finding who you are in the present now. The moment is now.
So you mentioned that fitness is your livelihood.
Hmm.
How did you balance it all before Corona hit us, and how are you balancing it now during the onset of Corona?
Okay, okay. So I mean, when there was no corona, it was easy to just get into a crowd and walk out, have your groups in different pockets, and I mean, and do what you had to do. So, like now, right now, I miss flag football. I mean, I miss flag football. This is something we were already in. I mean, the season 5, and all of a sudden, Corona hits. We only played one game, and we've had to shut
Mm,
down. And there's every possibility we're going to shut down. Also, so some during proud Corona, it was easy to just step out and just have fun doing what you love to do. But right now, everyone has to be conscious, and realizing that even the nose mask that we have to use, you can't even use it to exercise except you want to kill yourself, because then
Mm,
you're not letting out carbon dioxide. And how do you even let in oxygen? So that exchange wouldn't be at optimal. So it's what I mean Corona has brought about is that you have to start to do most of your workouts in isolation to
mm.
yourself, because you can only speak about yourself. You know how well you've kept yourself, how well you've tried to prevent yourself from getting in harm's way. So, and that's, I mean, the difference between pre-corona and during corona, and that's what's going to happen post-corona till we're able to find a lasting solution to this virus. I feel everyone will still have this worry look. So for me, it's the same thing. And I've had to go digital. So majority of what we do, even for our corporate clients, is just online. Let's meet online. Yes, it might be hard to do the point-to-point cues or even send
Mm.
the cues across. But one thing I've come to realize is there are ways you can ensure that your cues are still targeted and people understand. So what has worked for me is I try to tell people prior before we start things that I would do. And even while we do that, it's just watching them and also giving those leads. But everything has gone digital. So right now it's digital till we're able to do more of in person.
So now that we've moved on to digital and you're doing everything from home, are you finding it harder or easier to balance your family life with your fitness life, with your professional life?
Okay, well, for me, I'm not married, so I would have to say it's pretty easy because it's just me, myself, and I. Do you understand? Beyond my nuclear family, do you understand? I'm not saying I'm not trying to put them in, train them out, but you know, it's easier when you're not married because you can think about yourself. Majority of things I have to do, I'm thinking of, okay, for work, I know at this time, this is work for me. When it's family time, I mean, I stay with my cousins, so we come around, we talk, we gist, and all I have to do with my other, I mean, family members is call them. Do you understand? So balancing it hasn't been pretty difficult for me because everything is put into time blocks. I can tell you, oh, this is how my calendar is, so I know when I'm working for work, and I know when I'm doing my own personal training because it's already placed in terms of priority. So I know I'm meant to be at work from 9 in the morning till 5:30 in the evening online, but I'm not online for work through those hours. The specific hours that I'm either training clients or I'm checking up with, I mean, my team members. We're having meetings, but all in all, I would say it's not been so difficult for me to prioritize and put them in blocks.
Okay, I'm really happy that you can balance it all because from these conversations that I've had, a lot of people, and I know at work as well, a lot of people are struggling to balance, to switch off from work and actually balance their work and their family life.